I was almost excited, Paul Thurrott.
Mm-hmm.
Almost excited.
Okay.
I will be excited, but not today. In the future, I will be excited.
It's reasonable.
Notion announced this calendar thing, which was really a company that they bought. They rebranded it,
Yeah.
slapped some Notion stuff. I'm a heavy. I think you do too. But anyways, I use
Oh,
Notion.
yeah.
Like
Live
I'm
in
deep
Notion.
into the Notion world, and I was like, yes. And then you log in or you download it, and it's free, but it's Google only for now. But they did say that Office 365 will be coming. So
It's also, yeah, I was thinking what they would do was sort of integrate this into the main app, which, there are integrations in the
yeah,
main
I
app.
would. There,
But there is a standalone Windows app for
yeah,
this thing.
just
Like you could have another thing that runs as startup, I guess. And it's like, I don't know. I, li- I mean, I do use Google Calendar, so I did sign up for it immediately just to kind of check that out. But this will probably be more useful to you because you do, most of my calendar things are not a collaborative, thing. It's
yeah,
just a reminder that I have a meeting or something.
yeah.
Interesting. They should start. All they have to do is add email, Brad.
I
They
know.
can
I
call it
actually. So
Ocean
I
Suite.
tweeted at the guy or whatever we call it this week.
Yeah.
And I said exactly that. I'm like, hey. And that's when he responded to me. He said, look, Outlook's coming. iCloud Sync is coming. Like, we're getting through that. And I was like, you could do email. Like, finger guns. Like,
There is a need there.
Just
An
a
email
need.
that doesn't track you all over the world.
it doesn't have 700 and something things. Like,
Speaking of which, did you see the Consumer Reports report?
no, I did not.
Better term. So
Go on.
they got about 720 something people to provide them with their Facebook data dump.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but it was over 2,200 companies are tracking people on Facebook on average or something like that. It's like
Fantastic.
it makes Microsoft look like the relative newcomer that they are,
Mm-hmm.
And they were basically like, we know that people think that their phones are listening to them. And it's like, that's not exactly what's happening, but this is what's happening. And this is probably has a big chunk to do with it, Crazy.
Gross.
Yep.
I mean,
I did. I made the mistake. There was a period of time when Instagram, sounds so stupid, but because I'm really against personalized ads,
Mm-hmm.
but there was a period of time where like the ads did seem uniquely targeted to things I care about, like minimalist wallets and phone cases and like the things like luggage, stuff I actually care about. And I was like, this is kind of cool. And it lasted, I don't know, 3-6 months, whatever. And then, now it's just crazy. But I did the other day, a week ago, whatever. I saw an ad for the company's like MOUS, like mouse, I guess, case, like a minimalist case, for my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't have the color I wanted. I probably would have bought it, And I looked at, I went back a couple times, looked at it, and then I saw it, and I wonder if I can still see it. I saw not an ad, but I got rid of it. I saw a notification in Facebook that I had never seen before, and it said, "Hey, we saw you like this thing over on Instagram. Do you want to look at it here too?" And I was like, "Oh boy!" No, that's just a straight up. They own both companies, but I mean, it was like a weird moment of we seem to have latched onto something you like. So now I just see phone case ads from every company on earth in Facebook. It's, they're like a pack of piranhas.
Well, I'm also happy to report that we've reached that midwinter depression era of YouTube recommendations where I'm now getting homes for sale in Hawaii again.
Oh, boy.
Like clockwork. They're like, ooh. And I click them every freaking time, Paul, because it's like, you know what?
Maybe one will be
It's
cheap.
nice. Yeah. Well, so here's the thought process. I would never buy a home in Hawaii. Not because Hawaii is not amazing.
Right.
But if I was going to buy a beachfront house on an island, it would be in the Caribbean because that is just a hell of a lot closer.
And cheaper.
Cheaper to get to. I mean, it's like Punta Cana, where we're going in June. There's a direct flight from Cincinnati. So if I'm going to buy one, it's going to be down there.
This is part of the Mexico value equation or whatever you call it. It's direct flight for 4.5 hours, I guess. It's convenient. Like when you go to Europe, which is where, in many ways, Paris is still my favorite place on earth, but it's an overnight flight and it's brutal. And I can't afford to fly business class to Paris. Like, what am I, I'm not like a billionaire. And it's like, I just don't know. That's not the only thing that goes into a decision like that, but it's one of them. That's for sure.
It absolutely is. That's why we're going back to Punta Cana, is because we looked at other islands, but the problem is like, hey, then you're going through Atlanta or you're going through Charlotte or you're going, And
Doesn't matter where you're going through. It sucks.
Yeah, we can go to Jamaica, but I don't. Whatever reason, my brain is like just like Punta Cana better than the Dominican Republic. So
yeah, that's cool. That doesn't matter. I mean, that's good.
Yeah. Anyways, there's an Xbox thing today.
Yeah, there is.
3
They've
p.m.
already
Eastern, I think noon Pacific.
Yeah. There's not going to be any Activision Blizzard.
No.
You know, Microsoft moves so quick on Copilot in 2024. I would like them to do the same for Activision Blizzard. My God, they spent, what, $69 billion? Was that the number?
Well, they saved all their move fast mojo for ripping things away from Bing, as we've seen that they're
or introducing new features in Windows 11 that they never tested in the Insider program. They did that too.
Yeah.
Twice now. So yeah, I guess different parts of the company, different ways of doing things.
Yeah, Bing market share grew less than 1%, which if you're a statistician, knowing how small that is, and Google is like 90%, like that's normal deviations throughout
I thought you were going to say that's a 33% growth spurt.
Oh God.
Because I guess it is, but yeah, you're right. I mean, and this the Wall Street Journal reported on this, I don't know, August, September, something, and Microsoft was very upset with this. But yeah, this was the proof point that they needed to know that Bing wasn't the right brand to go forward with on this, and that played a role in the changes. So, it's really no surprise, honestly, to anyone who's paying attention to anything, but.
No, I was kind of farting around. I was like, man, what if they just rebranded Bing to Copilot? Like they said, okay, Copilot's our new, but then you type Copilot.com. It gets so messy, though.
And
it's like this whole other company. Yep. Like they don't own Copilot.com, and they would have to pay a lot of money to get it.
Mm-hmm. What is Copilot.com? Is it an airline?
Copilot is the modern client portal for service businesses. Give clients a one-stop shop experience with Client Portal that streamlines messaging, payments, file sharing, help centers, and blah, blah, blah. So yeah.
Wow.
It's an established business. They're not going anywhere.
If no one had ever heard of them before, Microsoft's use of Copilot as a brand is not going to help.
Yeah, somebody was sitting over there saying, they're calling it what? And like, they're like, oh, baby, like our domain.com just went up.
But they're calling it Microsoft Copilot.
It doesn't matter. Copilot.com, I guarantee, is probably seeing more traffic.
Yep. And then, but it's traffic like of the kind that Media Center used to get. Like you go to it once, you're like, oh, this isn't what I want.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for those guys, I guess.
Maybe until like Salesforce buys them, and then they're like, hey, we've got Copilot too.
I was going to say they might want to think about repurposing an OpenAI chatbot or something and just throwing it up there. They could probably make some money on it.
That's what I mean. Like they're need to pivot to AI.
Right. Then you get into a weird then Microsoft has to turn into Apple and sue a company that was there first.
Yeah. Which is not easy to do. So anyways, we'll see. We will see. The other thing, even though there isn't games things today that's not related to games or whatever, Activision, Call of Duty shipped an update this week, and it is a record fire dumpster. They completely broke the game. I know that Microsoft doesn't have really influence on how like their quality control is, but like this is like they broke it, and I was like, this is a great Microsoft example. So for people who aren't familiar with this game, let me just break down how badly this game was broken. So one of the core components, so you jump onto a map and you run around and you pick up weapons. After about like 2 minutes into the game, a big box drops. It's called your loadout, and you run up to that box. And you can pick any like pre-saved class that you would, like you typically would in a Call of Duty game.
This is Warzone specifically.
Yeah, Warzone specifically. Yeah. Every time you touched that loadout, the game crashed. So the core, like the primary mechanic.
Maybe they should have known that this was going to happen.
Yeah,
because it's like a core event in the game.
This is like the first. So other than jumping out of the plane that flies over, this is the core mechanic that starts off kind of the game, and. Right. It completely broke, and that wasn't the only thing. Like there were so many other things that were broken that they're, it's just. Anyways,
there's only one normal multiplayer map that was added in this update. It's called Rio.
Yep.
It has a vague resemblance to Favela, which is one of my all-time favorite. Yes. If I had to pick like 10, that would be one of them, and. There is a little pull there when I see that. It's like, what am I missing?
Favela's in the game, though.
I know.
It's good.
I'm sure it is. Yeah, I think what I'm going to load up is I think this just happened today. There's a Resident Evil 2 remake, I
Oh,
think,
really?
that's on Game Pass. Yeah,
Oh.
I'm gonna try to go through that. It's a straight up horror. Like, it's supposed to be very scary. Like, a lot of horror games aren't that scary really, but
Yeah.
it's supposed to be legit. And the remaster or whatever it's called, is supposed to be great. And I don't think that game ever, I could be wrong about this one, but I don't think it ever came to Xbox. The first, several of those. I think it's only been the past 2 or 3, maybe.
I don't recall.
In its original run, anyway. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know either for sure. But anyway, I never really got into the Resident Evil games, and I attributed that because I was on Xbox. I think that I just don't think they were there. But I played the last couple. I finished it's not the most recent, the one before that, Biohazard. I actually finished that game. Like, it was, it was good. I wouldn't say it was scary, but it was good.
Yeah. Well, here we are. It's Thursday. Tomorrow will be Friday.
Yeah, hopefully, what is it? My mistake. I was going to say hopefully it'll get over 20 degrees today. Actually, it's already 23. It's burning right at the temperature
We're
gauge.
supposed to get some snow. When is Microsoft earnings? Is it next week or is it the week after?
Yep, it's right in there somewhere. I don't know that they've announced it, but yeah, we're coming up on my least favorite time of every quarter when it's just a back-to-back Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, everybody.
So according to Google, it's January 30th. So,
oof, right at the end.
Yeah, usually it's
like 30th. That's almost 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, 2 weeks from yesterday.
The more time I have, the better. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, here we go.
Here we are. Look, it's white, just like the snow.